Can you maybe explain the concept of emptiness in Buddhism?
Emptiness. Emptiness refers to a quality that either living beings or ultimately all phenomena do not have some self-existing state as part of how you could accurately describe them. For example, there is no the most important aspect of emptiness in terms of the Buddhist practice is the idea that there is this self somehow within this body and mind, or around this body and mind, or some configuration of the two constitutes a true self, something that is not changing. And emptiness refers to this body and mind is empty of a true self. The Pali word is sunyata. So in the same way that you can say, if you go into the forest, an empty forest, it's empty of big buildings. Right? It just means that that particular quality is missing. That's how the Buddha described it. And the same way you can say, you're looking in all aspects of a human body and mind, everything mental and physical, nowhere are you going to find a unchanging self. Everything that we identify with as me and mine, or as ourself, is constantly changing, constantly transforming. So then it's hard to hold on to that as something that you could accurately say, well, this is myself. As soon as you identify with it, then it changes.
Same meaning as impermanence.
It's one of the qualities of conditioned phenomena, in the same way that anicca, or the idea that things are constantly changing, is a quality of all phenomena, whether physical or mental. Also the quality of dukkha, or the impossibility that things in and of themselves can offer lasting satisfaction. Of course, this is also tied up with anicca. If things are constantly changing, there's nothing really that you can hold on to that's going to give you lasting satisfaction. As soon as you try to hold on to something, boom, it's changed, it's gone. So that's the dukkha aspect of it. And anatta refers to the non-self aspect of all conditioned phenomena. All conditioned phenomena refers to basically everything that exists. The only thing that would be outside of that would be nibbana, or enlightenment. So non-self, again, whether you look at internal things, or you look at external things, mental things, physical things, they all have the quality of, this is not who I truly am. This does not constitute a self. And so emptiness is also a quality of all conditioned phenomena. In the Theravada tradition, mostly the Buddha encouraged and emphasized investigating anicca, dukkha, and anatta. But there are suttas on sunyata as well as emptiness.
So it's a non-self that's linked to emptiness.
It's essentially, it's a quality that is very closely akin to non-self and impermanence. It doesn't mean there's nothing there. It just means when you say something is empty, empty of what? What's it empty of? That's how the Buddha would use the term. So our existence is empty of a true, unchanging self. Because in the time of the Buddha, it was widely assumed that if you practiced in the right way, you would discover the true self. Yes, maybe it's not the body. Yes, maybe it's not our superficial personality, or our thoughts, or our memories, or even our perceptions, But beyond that, somewhere beyond that, is our true self, the true, like, say, heart of our being. And there was a certain assumption that if you just keep stripping away the different layers of false identification, eventually you get to this, the true self, and then that would either that would be a source of lasting happiness, or somehow there's sometimes the conflicting idea that if you have a true self, but then you can purify that self, right? But if it's a true self, it means that it's not changing. So it should be pure from the start.
Yeah.
But then there's also ways of looking at it, say, well, yes, we do have a pure self, but it needs to be trained. So, well, that's not so different than the Buddhist way of looking at it. Yeah, there are many things that we identify with as who we are, but we can train our perceptions, we can train the way we look at things to become more and more and more accurate. But one of the aspects of right view that is important, is key, is this question of right view. The question of non-self. If you have a fixed position that there is a true self, then that can be an obstacle for insight. It can just be a block for objective analysis. So the beliefs that we begin with are important to investigate. If you have certain unchallenged beliefs, it's good to acknowledge that, because that will affect how objectively we can then look and train through our meditation. So we try to get back to a viewpoint of pure investigation. We're really just looking to try to see what's there, without. It's hard to achieve no expectations at all, but try to reduce our expectations. Try to reduce our assumptions as much as possible, so that we're able to engage in investigation. Just look and see what's there. This is what the Buddha advised. Not to just believe him, not just to adopt a belief. If you adopt a belief on non-self, it's not so different than adopting a belief on self. If you adopt a belief on non-self, it might encourage us gradually to practice in that direction. It might be more encouraging to lead on to actually realizing and seeing for ourselves. But really the best is just to practice with an open mind.